You can't see my hands, but they're under my chin. Hi. I thought it'd be fun to be a ghost today. I haven't done a filter in a while, so here we are. We're being a ghost. I hope you're into it. I did not die. I'm not undead as a ghost. I didn't come back to life. How we doing? Hi. How's it going? You could probably potentially hear some Addams Family in the background, so sorry for that. Ugh, Freddy Gan's so good. Freddy Gan Mashup so good. So good. I loved it. There's also some children playing next door. Great reaction. Thank you so much for Alex. Thank you so much. Freaking love it so much. Stella, me too. Oh, gorgeous. Why are you a ghostie? I don't know. Just for fun. Cause why not? You know? Why not? You know, have some fun out here. Be a ghost. Be a little ghosty ghost. You know, I don't. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Well, that's fair. Thank you. I don't know. I didn't feel like getting all purdy today, and and I thought, you know what? I'm gonna just be a ghost. Haven't been a ghost in a while. Gotta be a ghost. It's okay. You're not supposed to take it serious, you know? We out here not being serious. How's everybody doing this Wednesday? It is 4:20. If you partake. I don't partake anymore. It's apparently 64 and sunny. But, you know, You got to see a video with your main crush, Josh Styles, today. That's nice. Love that for you. Love that for you. Let's see, what am I missing? Partake! Oh, I'm glad your ankle is better. Doing better. Stabilizing and whatnot. That's good. I'm trying to think if there's anything exciting to tell y'all about. Let me think. Let me do my think dance. I don't know. I don't think so. It's a day, it's a time. I'm surviving, trying to get back to normal. Living my best ghost life. Yeah. Definitely trying to get back to like a baseline, trying to get back to like my routine. The fire situation has just been very jarring and upsetting, and just like shift my shit, just rocked my shit off in not a good way. So I've just kind of been, I don't know, vibing. Oh, there's the bot. The bot was so late. Bot, girl bot. You're so late, bot. My brain has been very much like just blanking lately, which is fun. Blanky blank blank brain. Started Tomb Raider Underworld last night. I'm actually real excited about it. Real excited about that. It's been a while since I've played a Tomb Raider, and I love Tomb Raider so much, so that just makes me feel good. Finished crime scene cleanup last night, which made me sad because it's so good. I've been having some like creative thoughts lately, which is nice because it's been a while since I am an artist, an illustrator, graphic designer. But I was burnt out. I got burnt out. real burnt. Got toasty. So I haven't been doing anything creative artistically in a few years. So that's kind of like an interesting update, that I've been having some creative thoughts and some, maybe I should get out my iPad to doodle and potentially make some merch maybe. I don't know. Just, thinking about stuff, thinking about future things. Does that mean crime scene man got out of the mob or whatever? Spoiler alert. Big Jim got caught by cops. So I think crime scene cleanup man is safe for the time being. I was surprised that that's how it ended. I was very surprised. I was bummed that, because there's like a whole storyline about his daughter being sick, and that's like why he's working for the mob, cleaning up crime scenes to make this money so he can send it to the hospital so his daughter can get better. And by the end, she was like almost ready to come home. And I was like, oh, we're going to see the daughter come home. We didn't see the daughter come home. I'm like, what? I need to see the daughter come home. Like, what do you mean? Do you have a website? Creative Thoughts is a good start. I used to, but I don't currently have like a design website or an art website. I think the art will probably live maybe on Patreon, one of them upper tiers probably. I don't know, just because like I don't know how I feel about it yet, but we'll see, and then we'll see how that goes. I don't know, we're just winging it. We could doodle together. That sounds dirtier than I meant, but I want to do arts together. Yeah, that actually sounds really good. VC art nights, that sounds cool. Yes to VC art nights. Yeah, we could do some. I'm still wanting to do movie nights. Definitely want to do movie nights. I'm pretty sure there's a tier on Patreon for movie nights. I just haven't done one yet, but I want to do it potentially this month, maybe. I don't know. That was my goal, my thought process. The highest tier on Patreon, I think currently is Quads. I think Quads, maybe. I was playing around with a 1K club, but I don't think I've like put it up there. I was like, hey, if you want to pay $1,000 a month, I will give you, you recommend something, it happens. You basically control what I do. Like, you want me to film a video reacting to something, it's happening. But yeah, I think Quads, I want to say Quads is the highest tier right now. I think it's like $150 a month, which does have one patron in there, and no joke, when I got the notification that someone signed up for the $150 tier, like the first time I saw it, I thought it said 15, and I was like, that's cool. And then when I got onto Patreon, it said like, oh, someone's in Gods, and I was like, no way someone's in Quads. No one's in Quads. Someone's in Quads. Like, what? So that's cool. Love that. Look forward to seeing some of your work. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's interesting. It's interesting. It's interesting to feel a little bit excited about getting back into it because that's a newer feeling for me. Um, I do miss the flow state of like just being in it and drawing for like hours and forgetting to eat, forgetting to pee, just like so focused that I'm not doing anything but creating art obsessively. I do miss that state of being, I won't lie, but it's um, just been a while since I've been in that place. Um, Originally I was selling my art as prints and like on mugs and t-shirts, stuff like that, for which I had, a website for. And then, 2020 happened and I pretty much had to shut down. And it's just been on the way back burner since then, which is wild, to be honest, because like, wow, it's been 5 years now? Wow. Wow. Ah. Wow. Whoa. Yeah. It's been a wild few years, y'all. And it's gonna be a wild few more based on, the haps in this country. So I don't know. I'm just gonna attempt to focus on me and my shit and make content and friends and maybe some art. I had an idea for a t-shirt that I really want to make, so like I definitely want to do that. Actually, I have 2 ideas for 2 t-shirts I want to make as merch for Merce Monster, so be on the lookout for that in the future. Oh, it's time to take a birth control. What else? What else is going? Hi, Nikki. I have a couple of friends who are artists. It comes and goes, but it's always very positive for them. Yeah. Yeah. Art itself has always been a positive thing for me. But I think there was a point when like the logistics and the marketing and the social media of it all just like fried me and made me really doubtful of my abilities, and it was difficult to feel like confident because I don't know, it's just like you're constantly comparing yourself to other artists, and then social media is not I don't know, super supportive, or like I was getting like shadow banned for other things, being on my soapbox, how I do. And so the art was getting, affected by that. And so it's just difficult to have been, making art for several years and feeling like I wasn't actually getting anywhere with it, even though like that wasn't even necessarily like the goal of like, I don't know, notoriety or anything. It was just kind of like I just wanted people to see it. And so like I was just like hyper focused on having to like mold social media around it and having an Instagram, whatever, and it just, I don't know, it just like beat the creativity out of me. It just beat the, I don't know, the love out of it for me for a bit. So I lost it a little bit. One just sells occasionally on various Facebook communities every now and again. Yeah, I go back and forth about Facebook, y'all. I keep thinking about potentially, like, creating a Marissa Monster Facebook page, but, like, Zuck is being a fucking dick. So I'm like, I don't think I want to give him another fucking profile. If I could, I'd get rid of my personal one, but it's, like, the only thing people of my, you know, former life have to access me. I don't know. You passed the 3K subs mark on YouTube. I did. That happened when I was evacuating. So it didn't get the big exciting post about it, because that was in the middle of things. People can suck. Yeah. Especially on the interwebs. Yeah. Absolutely. There was never anything more accurate than people can suck, especially on the interwebs. Oh, she doesn't really have her own page. She just utilizes the communities. Interesting. Yeah, plus I'm like, ugh, people are so mean on Facebook. I mean, people are mean everywhere. Obviously, we were just talking about that, but, like, I don't know. Something about Facebook just feels like way worse. I don't know why, but it feels bully city. It's where the bullies and their moms and their grandmas and aunts hang out. And I don't want them talking shit to me. I'd just rather not. They should bring back MySpace. You know, I have a love-hate relationship with MySpace, you know, for reasons, but I do think it was a lot better as a social media concept and site. Absolutely. She's also been banned a number of times. She has opinions. Yeah. See, that's me, right? That's me too. Me too. Like, it's so funny, like, Instagram didn't ban me, but Instagram just likes to punish me a lot, like, over and over. Shadow ban, you know, not active ban, shadow ban me, and, like, you know, give me a bunch of strikes and be like, oh, you can't monetize because you said stuff. And then I find it hilarious because then fucking Zuck was out here talking about, like, social media is afraid of masculinity and we need to celebrate the aggression more. And I'm like, okay, but I tried to share this article of you saying that to my Instagram stories and put that you fucking suck, and it told me I had to edit it. So I guess you're not down with my aggression. You don't want to celebrate that aggression. Interesting. Blue Sky is good. I like Blue Sky. You know, I have the Blue Sky. You know, I have the Blue Sky. We're friends on Blue Sky. I don't know. I just haven't gotten into the groove of, like, consistently using it. Even Threads. Like, I have Threads. I've been using Threads a little bit lately, but I don't know. And now with my Discord, like, keeps a track of when I post to socials, which makes, I don't know, like, I love that, so you guys can see I'm posting to socials, but also I'm like, it makes me feel self-conscious, because I can't just, like, shit post, because if I'm shit posting, it's just, like, posting in the Discord a bunch, and I'm like, oh, sorry, guys. sorry. I have a Kara profile, but hardly ever check it. It's just hundreds of artists promoting their own art. Zuckerberg. It's ironic because I really don't get masculine vibes from Zuckerberg. Right? I just feel like him and Elon are just like competing. I don't know. All these doofus dudes are competing with, you know, who could be the most toxic in their masculinity, who can be the most patriarchal in their masculinity, who can be the most turn back fucking time in their masculinity in 2025, and it's just fucking embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Whether it's Zuck or Elon or Trampy. I can't with them. And all the little bootlickers and all their little bootlicking fans, like, they're trying so hard. I saw a TikTok last night. It was, I don't know, I kind of thought it was adorable because it was this guy where he was like, he was so upset that older, mostly white, mostly conservative men were just like so mad at like younger guys for like doing things that bring them happiness. And I just thought it was cute because I was like, oh, this guy is like frustrated that like men, that he's realizing that like men have such, you know, shitty behavior when it comes to like trying to control other people's behavior, you know? And I'm like, oh, welcome to the club, bud. Like, I mean, usually it's the ladies that's getting the brunt of that, but you will get it too. And he was talking about how like he was at the gym, right? And he was going in the sauna, and he was like, I can't take my phone in the sauna because it will explode. So I take books, and I take comic books to keep myself entertained. And I guess he was reading some comic book, and like this old white conservative ass clown was like, grumble, grumble. And dude was like, excuse me? Did you have something to say? Did you have something to offer? And the man was like, isn't it childish that you're reading comic books? And the guy was like, no, like, I enjoy them. They bring me happiness. They're not hurting you. And the old man was like, well, one of these days you're going to grow out of it and realize that's for children. And the guy was like, well, I can bench, what did he say? He said like 219. Have you seen a child who can bench 219? I'm like, oh no, the competitive masculinity is butting heads. And the guy was like, no. And he just like went on this rant about how he was just like, I don't understand the audacity of like the older generation of guys who just feel the need to like try to squash the joy from other people, from other guys, from young guys. And I do think it's funny because like he literally was like, why haven't you grown out of happiness yet? Why haven't you grown out of happiness yet? Like the rest of us. Being an adult means you can't be happy. You can't do things that made you happy at some point in your life, whether it be childhood, you know, young adulthood, whatever. Like, why? Like, being angry, being upset, actively upset, needing to, like, make it known, make you hear them, tell you, like, hey, grow out of being happy like the rest of us, or else. And they consider that shit being masculinity. Like, and they're, you know, mad at these young dads who, like, let their sons wear nail polish and shit. Like, it's literally just doing things that bring them joy. They're so mad. They're so mad. Ah. It is embarrassing, but also, yeah, very harmful. I love a soggy book. As an older white male, I am often threatened by others' happiness. That is so ridiculous. Books are books are books. Big time projecting. I mean, right? Like, it's so, I mean, it's just sad. And it's sad. It's like, how dare you be happy? How dare you, you know, allow things in your life that bring you joy I don't do that. You shouldn't either. They told me I couldn't do that and still be a man, so what are you doing? How dare you? Like, sir? Sir? Are you okay? Are you okay, sir? Sir, you need help. You need help. You need to get some help. It's like, the opinions of the past controlling you in your present and future. Babe, you need help. You need help, okay? Like, you'll act like you're so free. That ain't freedom. You're not allowed to do stuff that brings you joy. How is that freedom? How are you free? Seriously, do you need help? Do you need help? We can help you. I'll help you. Let me help. Give him a fucking comic book. Give him a stuffed animal. Give him a blankie. You know? Ask him what he enjoyed as a child. Give it to him. Younger generations have to work 3 times as hard, 3 times as long to survive. Let the young man read a freaking comic, right? But that's the thing, it's like they don't even understand that. You know, like they're still convinced that young people have the same exact conditions that they had. And it's like, come on. You can't be that delusional. You can't be that. Like, come on. Like, understand the world around you. It's not the 80s anymore. Okay? It's not. It's not. A lot of us wish it was, but it's not. A makeover. I still don't even understand what masculine means is exactly. It just sounds miserable. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like you ask one person what masculinity is, they'll tell you one thing. You ask another person what masculinity is, they'll tell you another. Like, and a lot of men, they don't want to know what women think is masculine because they're just like, no. They're like, if you're out here saying anything that women appreciate, you're pandering to women. You're a beta, soy boy, whatever. Talk to them like a gentle parent and they will go crazy. I don't know. There's just like, it's like that idea of like, I had a horrific upbringing in life and I turned out fine, personified, trying to force its way onto every single other person in the world. They're like, why are you happy? Why do you have joy? Why are you capable of having positive things in your brain? We don't do that here. That's not tough guy stuff. Quit it. I'm like, I get it. Like, I feel for you. I feel for you that, like, that, you know, for so long in your entire life, you were taught that you weren't allowed to have things that made you feel good, that made you happy, that brought you joy, because they were girly or frivolous or childish or a waste of time or any of the things that someone told you that they were to make you to stop doing them. But babe, you can do it. Do it right now. Do it today. Do it. No one can stop you anymore. I'm telling you. Like, those people probably dead by now. So just do it up. You know, that's the thing that sucks. It's like those people probably died, but the fact that their bullshittery lives on in these people that they've traumatized into being little mini versions of them. Fucking sad. It's so sad. It's sad. I miss the 80s. I mostly don't remember them since I was born in 88. Yeah, I was born in 89. I was right at the beginning of the last year of the 80s. I don't remember the 80s either, but I did like the 90s. We're all 36-ish. That's so funny. I love attracting people my age to my life. That's fun. How very dare you? Working a summer break to pay a full year tuition and expenses is no longer a thing, old man. You know, it's like, I'll feel real bad for you until you start, you know, making my life worse to make you feel better. Like, that's up until that point, you know, like, I'm gonna feel for you. I'm gonna tell you, you need to get some help. You need to heal those child wounds. You need to stop butting into other people's lives and work on your own. Like, man, please, man. I call men man, like women ma'am, but man. Like, masculinity is not about controlling other people. Mind blown. I don't know what masculinity is, you know? What is femininity? I don't fucking know. Like, this is all made up bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's non-existent bullshit that people created because they were bored. You know, I told you I've been on TikTok recently, you know. I don't know. Just trying to get the last few drops before it's banned. And I love it because, like, the new thing is that there's the Chinese TikTok now. It's called Red Note. I love it because they're like, oh, the U.S. government wants to ban TikTok because they think China's stealing Americans' data. So what do the Americans do? They join Chinese TikTok and give them their data. It's so good. It's so good. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna join Red Note. Why not? Let's see. So last night I joined Red Note. And I was like, what's the haps? What's going on here? And the only, like, so wholesome, so cute, love. And, like, there's just Americans everywhere being like, I'm a TikTok refugee. The only downside, though, is, like, you know, obviously the cultural differences when it comes to, like, the LGBTQIA plus community. And I saw this dude talking about, like, trying to teach Americans how to, you know, I don't know, be a part of Red Note. And he's like, I'm not going to teach you Mandarin because you're dumb. Which I was like, accurate. I mean, period. But then he was like, we don't care if you're gay. Don't talk about it. Like, be gay. We don't care. We don't care about you being gay. Just don't talk about it. And I'm like, I don't like that. I don't love the whole, you could be gay, but don't talk about it. And then he was also like, there's only men and women. That's it. Don't talk about it. Like, I'm like, ugh. Really? You guys are going to be transphobic over here? And people are like, they're not transphobic. It's a cultural difference. I'm like, the cultural difference is that they are transphobic. Like, fuck. Like, cool. So that's something to, you know, understand if you decide to go over there. But chances are, you know, Americans end up taking it over anyway, because that's what we do, so. I remember, like, 2 things about the 80s. I started forming memories at 6 months, and I have trauma. Yeah, I don't remember jack shit from my early days. Not too many, except for the stuff that was repeated to me over and over again. Told, like, war stories. That shit's embedded in my brain. My first memory was falling asleep in my crib with my bottle. I do recall some crib memories. And the crib was like some 80s cartoon that I've never watched, because obviously I was too young to have watched it, but it was there from, you know, some hand-me-down situation at my grandmother's, my paternal grandmother's. I was like, what is this cartoon? I always said, if you can't laugh, what the f can you do? P.S. Now I feel old, born in 69. You're the parent of the group. You get to be the parent of the group. Human construct, period. Social constructs that have caused so much harm, period. Totally transphobic. State enforced. Yeah. Masculinity is when you like to do man things, and femininity is when you like to do women things. And androgyny is when you do neither. Interpret how you want. Or androgyny is when you do both, right? You do all of the above, because you don't give a fuck. It's interesting because, like, personally, like I was like a tomboy growing up. At least that's what I was told. I was a tomboy. Like, I wasn't like super girly, but also I feel like that had a lot to do with the patriarchy. It was like the patriarchy was like telling me the whole, you're not like other girls and don't like other girls and the color pink is ugly and it's bad and you don't like dresses. And like there's a lot of like conditioning going on, so it's hard to know exactly like how I felt as like a actual human being versus just like a sponging everything up. But I will say I distinctly remember going from being able to not wear a shirt to being forced to wear a shirt, hating it, hating every fucking second of it. Like boobs, y'all. And I say this as a bisexual person. They kind of suck. They kind of suck when like they're so like scary. They're naughty, and so they can't be seen unless it's naughty time. Like, hate it. Hate that shit. Like, hate that shit so much. Like, I remember my brother telling me, like, he was traumatized that, like, that period of time between me being, like, a little kid, little girl, tiny little baby, to, like, sprouting, budding, quote-unquote, budding boobs. And he would be like, you would not wear a shirt even though you were growing boobs. And then my little friends, my brother's only like 14 months older than me. We're Irish twins. And his little friends would like come and like look at me through the window while I was watching Barney. Can I just tell you, I was watching Barney still. And I was just like, that's just like, that just makes me sad. I hate it. It's such a terrible anecdote. Like, I just wanted to be, there was a part of me that just wanted to be like the boys. I didn't want to be a boy, but I wanted to be able to do what boys do. I wanted to be able to like experience the world the same way that boys got to experience the world. And then it was like, no, you're not allowed to walk around shirtless with shorts on like the boys get to do. You're not allowed to do that. I was like, the fuck I'm not? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? So I distinctly remember that period of life. And of course my brother does, because he's traumatized. I'm like, this is some fucking bullshit. And it's wild to understand like how controlled and how much we have to be mindful of our bodies as being like, no-nos, like, must hide, cover up, no, like, at such a young age. Like, that's so much to put on small children. Like, bonkers. Just bonkers. I was super shy and bullied to some extent until I was like 10, and then grew into my alpha personality, and then people didn't mess with me anymore. You know what? That happened to me too. Because, like, I was bullied a bunch for my curly hair by this little blonde girl who had very straight hair, and she was relentless, and she wouldn't leave me the fuck alone, bro, in, like, the 4th grade. And that was, like, one of the toughest points in my life, for sure, because, like, I would just go home crying every single day, and it was just, like, so traumatic. But then I don't know. Somehow I just morphed into like the, you know, not the Peter Pan, the Robin Hood, where I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna protect the bullied and scare the living shit out of the bullies. And that's kind of like who I turned into too. And that same girl who was fucking bullying me for my curly hair, I remember like at some point in high school over on like AIM, she like messaged me on AIM and was like apologetic, like, I'm sorry for bullying you. And I was like, that's cool, that's good, great, awesome, but I swear to God, if I hear you talking and bullying somebody else, I'm coming for you. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, okay? And I can. So be mindful, okay? And it's funny because like there was a period of time when she was bullying me that I did like, you know, stand up to her. Like I did like try to like be like, you're a bully and you bully me and you need to stop bullying me. And I had like a friend and she bullied both of us, but she was a lot more onto me because of my curly hair. and I was like, you bully me and so, and she was like, oh, I don't bully so-and-so. No, I don't bully so-and-so. So-and-so is fine. Like a weird power play, gaslighty kind of thing. And she was like, I bully you. This was like, you know, it was so funny because it was like me, I had moved to like a well-off town. Like I've always been poor. And like, but like 1 degree from like, not poorness. Like my grandparents on both sides were like well off, but like they allowed their children to like live in poverty for reasons I don't know. So like I was always poor, and then my mom, after divorcing my dad, like moved to like this town that was like not poor. I don't know how she afforded it, probably because it was the fucking 90s. And we lived in a 1-bedroom apartment that probably cost her like, I don't know, $600 a month or some shit. Maybe if that. And so like that, I was like, you know, rich kids bullying the poor kid with the curly hair vibe. I have very curly hair and I got a bowl cut at one point. Oh no. Oh no. The shame North America associates with the body is also very ridiculous and also very harmful. Period. Period. Tempest, I was literally always a boy and my body disagreed. Yeah. Yep. This story in ghost form is wild. You know, we're out here. I'm a ghost now. It's fine, everybody, because I'm a ghost now. I'm a ghost now. Everything turned out great because I'm a ghost now. I was also poorly socialized. I would just be dragged around by my parents to some dinner party with a bunch of old people. Yeah, I definitely had to deal with a lot of older people too often. Way too often. Or would just stay at home trying to deal with my mom's depression. Period. Relatable. I loved being a very tiny itty bitty baby therapist to my parents. So fun. So fun. So fun. Trauma. Trauma. Generational trauma. Trauma. Childhood trauma. If you know, you know. We know. We've been new about the trauma. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Gotta love. I love that. Love that. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe button, ring the bell if you're enjoying the show so you can come back next time. Yeah. Love that. I was 8 cooking my own meals because my mom was just not there at all. Period. Relatable. Relatable. We love being mini adults. We love it. So fun. The best. I feel like that was sarcastic. It is. It's the be sarcastic, grow into a little comedian to keep from falling apart, to keep from being, living in the fetal position. Cause that's what we got to do. That's what we got to do. I swear, my dad, like, he could relate. Like, he had a terrible childhood. His parents, awful. But also, like, that shouldn't make you, like, repeat the cycle. But, generational cycles, that's a thing. Personally, my whole thing is, like, I'm gonna do the opposite. Whatever y'all did to me, I'm gonna do the opposite. Like, I'm not about to, like, I'm not gonna have children. And if for some reason a child is ever in my possession, I'm not going to treat it like it's a mini adult. I'm not going to treat it like it's a mini adult. Not going to do that. Not going to traumatize it. No. The idea that Ren has impacted so many people demonstrates how much that sort of support is needed in society today. True. Very, very true. Soup's true. Bye, Stella. Enjoy your boa tea and pastries. Love that for you. Love that for you. Yeah, it is nice that, like, sure, we all had, like, some shitty childhood experiences, but somehow we've become, like, beacons of hope and connection and love and support for people like us. And then we become an army of just, like, healing, powerful, supportive, like, understanding, open-minded, loving people, because we understand what it's like to not have that. And so we want so much to bring that to the world for other people, for ourselves. Like, that's magical. That's, like, that is the silver lining of having the lives that we've had. Like, I'm not the kind of person who's like, everything happens for a reason and I don't regret anything, and if I could go back, I wouldn't, because it made me who I am today. But I will tell you that, yes, that is a silver lining. Like, that is a powerful part of our experience and our future, of our progress as people who, suffered so much and aren't willing to repeat that cycle, aren't willing to provide suffering for other people because it happened to us. Because, we're going to sit here and be like, well, it happened to me, so it can happen to you and it's fine. And, like, because it happened to me, you don't get to experience life in the way that I should have gotten to experience it, because it's not fair to me. Like, no, ma'am. No. It's so hard to get out of that cycle. Yeah. Preach, Ghosty. Ghosty out here spitting facts on the soapbox. Just cracking up at the Ghosty expressions. I love it so much. It's so cute. Love the Ghosty. Yeah, maybe I should bring out the ghost anytime I'm having, like, these, deep conversations, deep thoughts. Conversations about the trauma. Conversations about healing and growth and life. When I'm on my soapbox. It's amazing, though. There's so many who don't choose that path. I'm always impressed to find people who do. Same. Because somehow it's easy. I don't know how, but I mean, apparently it's so easy to just keep it going, to just keep that cycle going, like, especially when it's your parents, it's like your the people who are A, supposed to love you, and B, are like forming you as a person, you know. So it's easy to be that sponge and to soak up their behaviors and their coping mechanisms and who's calling me? Why are you calling me? Right, learned behavior, lack of insight. You know, it's like you're a child, right? It's like you can't be expected to understand what things you should be picking up and what things you shouldn't be picking up. Like, obviously, you know, and these people have never heard of therapy. You know, it's like, I've said it before, but like, I learned that my brother has a daughter who will be turning 5 on the 3rd. And she's in therapy. And that's like fucking incredible, because like therapy was a bad word in my house, you know, and in my brother's home, and he grew up to understand that, like, hey, we're not playing that. Like, we're not going to sit here and act like that. We're not going to act like getting help is taboo and unacceptable. Like, and we're going to be mindful that even if we're doing all the things right that we can, you know, things slip through the crack. We're not perfect, and it's best to have somebody there who has the tools, because that's what, you know, that's what therapy is, y'all. It's like it's providing you with tools that you don't have in your toolbox. You know, no one's born with all the tools in their toolbox. A lot of people don't have any tools, you know. So I'm very proud to be the person that I am today, in spite of everything that happened to me, that still happens to me. Because, you know, like, my shit with my family is ongoing. You know, I cut my dad out of my life completely when I was 15. And I can't imagine, the Trumpy piece of shit he is today. Like, oh, God. I really dodged that bullet. But it was very traumatic in itself. So, and then I cut my mom off a handful of years ago, like 2019, I think. And she's still making my life hell, so. And I definitely need to get my ass back into therapy. I do. Which is, you know, if you know, you know. Like, obviously my therapist passed away in 2020 of stroke. And it's just been a difficult thing to get back into and have to, like, restart the process over again. But I should probably remind myself that, like, I'm in such a better place now than when I started therapy originally with my original therapist. So it'll probably be a lot easier and a lot less awful than it was the first time. But I just, you know, life is just so it's exhausting. And I only have so much energy, you know. And I like to give y'all my energy. I like to give my dogs my energy. I mean, I have to. I have to do that. And it's just tough to, like, carve out additional time to, like, talk to someone or see someone or go somewhere. Because I personally only liked doing in-person therapy. Because I liked having a specific space that was dedicated to my healing, you know. It's difficult for me to, like, do therapeutic learning in my everyday areas with my everyday distractions. Obviously, these dogs are not going to be chill for me to have an hour to myself. Karma, I have a huge box of tools. I can fix almost anything. Hashtag alpha. Wow, Karma. You cut your dad off in your 20s because he was an abusive ass and now he has dementia and you're his carer? Oof. Feel for you. That is a lot. That's a lot to put on yourself. And I feel like that's such a, like, a thing that happens with a lot of people. I mean, you're definitely a good person, you know, to like choose to do that, you know. I don't know if I could do it. Fingers crossed my parents never come down with dementia, because oof. But, you know, my older brother is still in contact with both these people, so he can do it. I mean, I guess yeah, it's tough. That's tough. That's difficult. I would like to hope the dementia makes him nicer, less abusive, but I can't say that that's a given. It's a struggle some days. Yeah, I bet. I bet. You totally have to take care of you first. Yeah. It's hard enough to take care of yourself these days, you know? Like, it's a full-time job. It really is. My issues with my parents were not as bad once I grew up to be a young adult, but my mom passed when I was 19. Oof. The fentanyl makes him less abusive, so that's something. Period. Silver linings, right? Silver linings. Take what you could get. Yeah. You gotta laugh to keep him crying vibe. Yeah. Dad was not really around for a few years after that. Then I moved next door to him, and he eventually passed too. Oof. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, like, all my grandparents are still alive. My parents are still alive. So I haven't had, like, a major loss. And since I am no contact with, like, all of them, I don't even know how it will go. I don't know if I will learn right away. I assume my brother would tell me. I don't know. Like, I didn't even get a message from my brother about the fires. I have, you know, who knows? Like, I mean, there's a part of me that feels like maybe it's easier for me to not have to be concerned with all these people and all their lives and all their ailments and all their situations and all the drama and blah, blah, blah. But also losing out on that support system, even though it's not that supportive. It's like, not. Maybe miss out on some inheritance. Maybe get some money. Maybe. Because, like, my paternal grandparents are, like, penny pinching millionaires, I feel like, at this point. Like, they have property that's, like, worth millions of dollars. I mean, it's, like, property that, like, you know, didn't have a bathroom, that we had to pee in a bucket situation, but now it's worth $3 million because of, like, the land is being all developed around it. And, so chances are, like, when they die, some of that money is going to go to my dad, who's, like, an alcoholic mess. So if he doesn't, like, drink himself to death, like, I don't know. I have no idea. Like, I'm like, will any of this generational wealth get trickle down to me ever? I mean, they should be paying for my therapy at least, but we'll see. Tempest is back with sandwiches. Disclaimer, it's prescribed. I'm not drugging him. Big Pharma is. I was worried I'd regret cutting off my parents 15 years ago. My dad died last year. No regrets. Yeah, I really don't see it as something that is a regretful thing. I do have that thought, though. You know, I do have that thought every once in a while of, like, just getting the call. Like, okay, like, you haven't spoken to your dad in, you know, 15 plus years. How are you going to feel when you realize that you can never speak to your dad ever again because he's dead? But he's, like, such a monster. Like, and I do understand the whole, like, you know, trying to see people for the people, the beings, the human beings that they are, the full, you know, person, not just like the things that they've done, which, you know, Shroomies helped me with. But I mean, he's disgusting and awful and like everything I hate in the world, you know, whether it's an abuser, a sex pest, a racist, homophobe, transphobe, like a horrible thing, you name it, rapist, like everything. Like, so am I gonna regret not putting myself in harm's way by being, you know, made available for him for access to me? Like, probably not. And when it comes to my mom, like, she's just such a like covert narcissist and a liar, and I, you know, obviously I'm a victim of abuse herself, but has wonderful parents who fucking enable her at every turn to the point where it harms me. And they choose her over me, and choose, you know, enabling her to continue being an awful person over like supporting me in my decision to like not be involved with her. Hey, like, am I gonna regret not being a part of, you know, being a patsy or a pawn in her web of lies in her life, the stories that she has to tell herself so that she can be the hero of her reality? I don't know. I don't think so. But also, like, I was so brainwashed growing up to like see her fully as just a victim for so long, like, that it's kind of like old habits, you know, dying hard. And kind of like finding it difficult to see her as the villain that she actually is. But yeah, I don't see myself regretting it, you know. Sometimes I feel like I'll regret not spending more time with my maternal grandparents, who are, you know, they are enablers, true, but like, they were there for me at a point in time that like I appreciated. Like, after my parents divorced, my mom was like constantly gone, like trying to work, and like she was like a bouncer at a nightclub, at a comedy club. And my, you know, my grandparents kind of became like surrogate parents to me, and they were like the best parents I had. Like, so there was like a period of time like getting to live with them in their nice like 4-bedroom house, like feeling like I had like a normal life for like a year, and then getting ripped out of there and put into like a 1-bedroom apartment where, you know, I got bullied every day for my hair being curly. Sometimes I feel like I might regret that, getting the phone call that one of them passed, but, you know, I try with them sometimes, and they don't try with me, and I can't really make them try with me, so it just feels very like they've chosen their side, and it's giving, hey, you can be involved, you can be over here with us if you let your mom back into your life. Like, and so I'm just not super willing, you know, to do that. It does make me really miss my therapist, though, because so much stuff has happened in my life since I lost my therapist that, like, I'd be so curious to hear his thoughts on, and like want to know what he thinks, and like want to hear that he's proud of me and stuff. So I think about that sometimes, but I don't think he's up there going, girl, you better get back with those parents, those shitty parents that treat you like shit. Like, I'm like, what would he do? What would he want me to do? And I know he would want me to do that. He would want me to take care of me. And if that means not having the stereotypical, you know, family setup, then so be it. So, you know, I'm definitely on that journey of like finding the chosen family, you know. So I'm gonna worry about that, you know? I'm gonna worry about that, see how that goes. And if I get the phone calls, I get the phone calls. If I get some inheritance, that'd be cool, but I ain't holding my breath. Oh, we got some drugs. We got some drug talk in the chat. When I die, I get 0 money and also evicted. Oh no. That's life, my dude. I love that. Oh, that's life, my dude. Period. It's so much easier if they have no money. At least it was for us. Oh no. Not the puking from the K. You should feel proud of yourself for moving on and away from him. Thank you. Yeah, it was actually really difficult because, like, I was like a daddy's girl. Growing up, like, as a child, like, as a baby, like, I picked him. And my mom hated that because obviously she probably was aware of how shitty he is. I don't know when he became shitty. He was probably shitty before I was even born, to be honest. But so it was actually very difficult, and he was dating a woman, and the woman that he was dating was kind of like the catalyst for me to actually stop dealing with him because, like, as, you know, a teenager, a young child and a teenager, like, I wasn't able to really see him for who he fully was. I didn't know everything that had happened to my mom. I didn't know everything. I didn't know who he was completely by the time I actually cut off ties with him. It was more so about, like, this woman that he was dating who was, like, not okay and needed some help and was, like, suicidal, like, threatening to kill herself if he didn't do certain things, and, like, and she had 2 daughters who were just kind of like little menaces, but also they were, you know, abused in the sense that they were neglected, and she was a terrible mother, and it was just, like, such a terrible, like, living situation that I was just like, I can't be here with these people. I can't be in this situation anymore. And I basically was just like, I need you to break up with her, or I'm not going to come see you anymore, because, like, I don't want to be around this situation. And he was like, I'm not going to break up with her. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not coming back. And then, you know, I understood who he was as a person, so it was obviously a good decision on my part. I lucked out on making that call, even though it wasn't for the reasons it should have been at the time that I didn't know. And we've had very small interactions between then and now. Like, he was on Facebook going around, like, telling people I was missing. and like, someone, and, like, my cousins, like Jellybean and Jellybean's sisters, would, like, let me know, like, oh, your dad's out here telling people that you're missing. They, like, you've been kidnapped or something. And, like, people would ask him, like, oh, well, do you have her social security number? Because we can find her. Like, and I'm like, and so I had to literally, like, create a separate Facebook account just to talk to him, to tell him, like, don't tell people my social security number, and stop talking about me like I'm kidnapped when you know I'm not kidnapped. I just don't deal with you because you're a piece of shit. And he was like, no, I'm not. And I'm like, you're an alcoholic abuser. And he's like, nuh-uh. I'm like, yeah, you are. And until you can understand those things and admit those things, I don't want to deal with you. That's so valid. Thank you. Sometimes you need that clean break for your own sanity, I think. Yep. That, yeah, I feel like that was for sure the case with my mom and my mom's parents. And like, I couldn't even have to, like, I didn't want to bear witness to their like Facebook flogging of each other either. Like, I just didn't want to see my mom making up lies and like living in this fairy tale version of her life that made her a victim, and like every single person that I ever thought cared about me would surround her and agree with her and, you know, shade me. And I just like, I had to just like let everybody go because it was killing me to have to like be made to feel like I was crazy. To have all these people that I thought cared about me just like not care openly, publicly, loudly. So just had to peace out. Had to go my own way. And I do think it was all for the best. Like, I never would have figured out like who I am authentically if I had stayed in that situation, because I was just constantly being molded into a mini version of my mom and like into like her biggest supporter and defender, and just, brainwashed to believe that she could do no wrong. It was just such a fucking mess. And she was also just like a bully in herself as well. So like, if I wore things that she didn't like, she would tell me about it. Like, she made fun of my body. Like, there was just like so many things that were just so detrimental to me and my existence and my sanity, just having to, be in the vicinity of her and people who choose to allow her to maintain her version of the truth. I think I can speak for everyone here when I say that we're all proud of you, Ghosty. Oh, thank you. I think your therapist really would be so proud of you. Yeah, I think so too. I do know that to be true, and I really hold on to that, to be honest. Like, like that is definitely like a shining light, northern star situation for me. But man, I miss him so much. Chosen family is the best family. I wrote a young adult series about that. Something I've told very few people. Sometimes people in your life will actually help you more in spirit since they didn't know how to do it in life. I think that makes sense. I think that makes a lot of sense. And man, not me hoping for the death of my parents so that they so that they can understand what the fuck they were doing while they were alive to help me out on the other side. My wife and I are estranged from her mom, and we're so grateful. Sometimes it is the only good decision. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's just weird though, because society doesn't want you to do that. Society doesn't want you to do that. So I feel like you hear a lot from the peanut gallery about how you're making a mistake and how you'll regret it, and you only have two parents and you only blah 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 blah. Like, it's just like, you know what? We gotta do what we gotta do out here. We gotta help. We gotta save us. They don't want to save us. We gotta save us. So, mind your business. Mind your own fucking family. Like, God, I'm so glad my parents had nothing to do with social media. Ugh, happy for you. Happy for you. I mean, I'm glad that my parents, that social media hit at such a point that, like, my entire childhood isn't on social media. That I'm very thankful for. Absolutely. But, yeah, I wish they were, like, I don't know how to do Facebook kind of old. Even though my grandparents are on Facebook, too. Bruce, I feel like we could share some wow that's fucked stories that would be quite similar. Yeah, I know, Tempest. I know. Twinsies. Did you ever think you'd find your true self and it would turn out to be an adorable ghost? Yes, actually. Actually? Yeah. Yeah. Actually, it's interesting because, like, I don't know, I feel like something's changing. I don't know if it's the fires. I don't know if it's being, like, you know, a week and a half before my birthday, or what it is. Turning 36. But there's definitely, like, a situation happening. And I feel like that it was a similar situation when I turned 30. Like, I remember going to my therapist's office, like, after turning 30. And, like, I think I got my first tattoo after turning 30, too, as well. Not 32, but after turning 30 as well. And I remember that therapy appointment, and it was so great because I was just like, no one can tell me what to do. I'm 30. I remember just being like, I am 30 fucking years old. Like, I am not a child. I'm an adult. You can't tell me what to do. I'm a grown woman. And he was like, yes, yes. And I feel like that's just, like, so tied into, like, my trauma and with shit with my parents, especially my mom, because it was just like I was in my 20s and didn't feel like an adult because I had this parent that was making me feel like I was a fucking child all the time, reprimanding me like I was a fucking child, and never letting me feel like an adult, never letting me feel like we could be potentially on equal playing field, on playing ground, like, because we were both adults, you know? And I feel like there's a similar vibe to maybe turning 36. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm separated. Maybe it's because I left my fucking marriage. Maybe it's because I'm on my own for the first time in my entire life, living on my own terms without anyone else's fucking opinions or approval or fucking guidelines or rules. I don't know, but there's something definitely happening, some healing going on that I appreciate, some fucks getting rid of, some, you know, like, even wearing my hair curly, you know, for the last week, like, that's, I mean, I've been in such a way about my hair lately, and maybe that's, you know, past curly hair trauma that I constantly have to, like, live with, where I will look at myself with curly hair and I will just think ugly because I was told for so long ugly. And like I thought I kind of grew out of that and I kind of loved my hair, and then it got to another place where I was just having trouble dealing with it and making it look how I wanted it to look and feel good about it. And I always feel so much better when I have straight hair and I straighten my hair, and I just feel like I look more like me and how I want to be. And but I feel like this past week I've just kind of like not cared, and my hair has been very cute, and like it's just like an interesting thing of, you know, some healing, some growth, some authenticity happening. It's interesting. I have to constantly ask myself, babe, is this the trauma? Usually, yes. It's a good question to ask, honestly. I think sometimes we are tested early in life, so later we know our strength when we need to use it, either for ourselves or others. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like I don't want to have been the case, you know? Like, I want to be one of those people that was just, like, surrounded by warmth and love and support, and was built into, like, the most, you know, authentic version of myself, due to the fact that everyone around me was so welcoming and accepting and loving and caring, and gave me space to do those things. But the other way works too. I mean, it's not ideal. It's not ideal, but it is another route. It's the long way around. Toxic society doesn't want you to do that. Yeah, that's the point. Toxic society is toxic. I have a friend who lost all her support, leaving her abusive husband because they were married under God. It was horrible. Ugh, gosh. Hate that. Love that that they got out, hate that they lost support. But it seems like anyone who is going to, you know, abandon you for doing what you need to do for your life, for yourself, like, you don't want those fucking people around. And it's like, what do they call that? A blessing in disguise. I mean, it's awful. It is fucking awful. It's awful. And I can relate to that, you know? Like, I can relate to the fact of, like, losing support from people I had support from because I didn't want to put up with an abuser, my abuser. And people want to be like, well, they aren't abuser. They're not abusive. They didn't abuse you. You're a liar. We're going to stand behind them. We're going to support them. And you can just deal with that how you want to deal with that. And you can be the bad guy. And you can be the villain of this story. And it can be your fault for breaking up the family, for breaking up the party. That's the first time I heard a really good reason for getting a tattoo. Yeah, I remember getting my tattoo, which I can't show it to you right now because I'm a ghost. But it definitely, like, it's not my favorite tattoo because it bled. Like, it wasn't done well. It was like $50 and I did it on $420. It was not the thing, but it's a rose. It's a blossoming rose, and like, and that's the symbol for it. It was like I was blossoming as a person because, you know, I made the decision to choose me, to love me, Grey's Anatomy, to cut out of my life what was not serving me, to protect myself, to you know, and then I started to blossom into the person that I always was, and was having to be pushed down by all these people who didn't want me to be that way. So yeah, and I definitely want more tattoos. I just, you know, they're expensive. If you do them right, they're expensive. It's amazing how deep-seated trauma can be, period. Good for you and for Marissa for questioning that. This is a good question. Is this the trauma? My mom was buried with her ex-husband. He left her and married her best friend. Ouch. Because they were still married in the eyes of the church. Like, what the... And these people really think that shit ain't a cult. I'm sorry, but it's giving cult. Cult. I grew up with wonderful, loving, smart parents. It meant that I had no idea what other kids were going through. It means my empathy was a little anemic early in my life. Yeah, I guess that's like the thing, is like you could end up being coddled. You could end up being, you know, blissfully naive to what is actually going on around you because you had it made in the shade. But you know what? Like, I don't know. It's like such a weird toss up, you know? Like, would you rather have your empathy be a little anemic and have a wonderful, supportive, you know, upbringing, or would you rather go through the fucking mud, be traumatized, have so much fucking baggage, and be a much more well-rounded person? Like, I don't know, man. Somewhere between the sacred silence of sleep, disorder. Sorry. Such a good song. Sky Daddy has done so much damage. Damn Sky Daddy. The original cult. Period. I wish my first tattoo was as thoughtful. I just got drunk on my 18th birthday, woke up with a lower back tattoo like so many others before me. You got tramp stamp? I love that. I mean, I do think the tattoo itself I think you can create meaning, you know, even if the meaning wasn't there to begin with, you can obviously, you know, transplant some meaning. But I don't think, you know, like when I went to get that tattoo, like that was not what was on my mind. Like I was just like, I want to get a tattoo. I want to get a tattoo. I've been wanting to get a tattoo. I've been saying I was going to get a tattoo for years and years and years. You know, I didn't get a tattoo until, you know, a little bit after turning 30, like months. It was April 20th, 4/20, 2019. So it was a handful of months before getting Rose. And they were doing, you know, 420 tattoos at this little like art show boutique place that I wanted to check out for a while. And I was just like, it just felt like the signs were converging. And I was like, this is my time to get a tattoo. And I just decided to pick the Rose. And then, you know, I feel like it hit me afterwards, you know, realizing like, hey, I am blossoming. I am, you know, budding into the person I am supposed to be and was always supposed to be, and can now, and I have the freedom to do so now. And it just kind of like worked out that way. But there's part of me that wants to cover it up because it's not the greatest tattoo. It wasn't done that well. Like, maybe cover it up with a different friggin' flower tattoo so that the meaning can still stay. I don't know. It's a consideration. I think whether you've gone through trauma or not, if you are willing to introspect and understand others, that's all good. Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I do think it's tougher, though, to be willing to do introspect, to think you need introspection if, you know, you've come from a place of, like, a lot of, you know, understanding and love and support. Because you might get into that thought process of, like, well, nothing has ever harmed me. I've never been harmed. I have no trauma. So I don't need introspection, or, you know, I don't need to look at myself deeper. And I don't think that's the case for anybody. I don't care how well you were raised. In this world, in this life, you know, trauma doesn't always have to come from your parents as a child. Like, Nikki's got a tramp stamp too. Night, Nikki. My first tattoo is a heart that is a butt, and I got it very much on purpose. First tattoo, 18th birthday, generic, badly done dagger on my left bicep. 2 weeks later, saw another guy with the same one in the same place. Well, I mean, for me, there was a lot of people getting the same thing in the same place because it was like, okay, there was like, I don't know, maybe 10, maybe 15 options on the tattoo sheet, and they were only doing specific spots. So there most definitely were ladies walking out with the rose in the exact same spot I got it. It's fine. Totally cool. I'm okay with that. I don't need to be original. I am already way too original as it is. My tattoo can be non-original. And I'll, you know, I got tons of body for other original tattoos. I mean, I've had a lot of tattoo ideas in my life. Like, I really wanted the owl cave tattoo from Twin Peaks. I wanted it on the back of my neck. That was like the tattoo I wanted as my first tattoo. And I can't say I'm glad that I didn't get it, but like, I don't know. I think a thick black line piece on the back of my neck probably wouldn't be that cute. And then I did also want to do a couple pieces of my own artwork on me, which I think if I had done what I wanted to do or had the thought of doing, I would probably still be cool with it. And I do like the placement of my tattoo because I can't see it. I can't see it unless I actually try to look at it. Like, I can see it if I'm like taking a selfie in a mirror, you know, because it's like on the back of my wrist. But I can't see it just like chilling. So I can actually forget I have it. And one of the tattoos that I thought of doing of, you know, an art piece that I had created which is like it was like a coffin shape with like, and the coffin, the inside of the coffin was like geometrical, like triangular lines, and it was like in these pinks and purples. And I thought about getting that on the back of my arm, back of my forearm, not my forearm, the back of my bicep. And again, I wouldn't have seen it unless I were actively looking at it, searching it out. So like, even if I regretted any of these tattoos, like I like that they're in positions where like, if I want to forget that they're there, I can. For the most part, I can. I also have a very nice one and was known for it in the LA burlesque scene somewhat. Introspect 1000% of the time. Making up time. Didn't do it before. We all need to introspect a lot. Yeah, we would all do so much better if we were all introspective. Everybody. I want to get the Sick Boy logo on the back of my neck this year. Ooh, that would be kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool. But I also get, I mean, it's tough with like back of neck tattoos because you ain't never seen that shit. You ain't never seen that shit. Not without a hand mirror. You are never seeing it. I mean, I think neck tattoos are cool, especially on the back, because if you have hair long enough that you can cover it, it's not there. It doesn't exist. But yeah, you don't get to experience it. You don't get to like, you don't get to look at it unless you're like actively trying. I also got a cat with a moon at the same place at the same time. It was a Friday the 13th thing. Also not original, either of them. See, yeah. That's like my vibe. It would be like a Friday the 13th, a 420. It's like, you know, a holiday tattoo, cheapy. They have a, what do they call them? I can't think of the word. Flash sheet. That's what it is. They got a flash sheet with, you know, specific designs, specific sizes, specific places on your body you can get them. Like, those are definitely my vibes. I mean, I should do it right by like finding an artist I love and like, you know, doing the deposit and spending the money. And I really want, you know, the green ribbon folk story about the girl who wears the green ribbon around her neck, and her, you know, she meets a boy, and the boy asks her about the green ribbon, and she's like, don't worry about it. And he's like, will you take it off? Can I take it off? She's like, no. And then when she's like on her deathbed, she's like, hey, you can take off the green ribbon. And then he takes off the green ribbon and her head falls off. I have that book. Well, I have a children's book that has that story in it. And there's art from that story that I wanted to get tattooed. Because the girl with the green ribbon also has a black cat, and there's a little design art piece in there, a little illustration of the black cat. And I wanted to get that tattooed. I remember my mom just being like, you're not gonna be able to handle getting that tattooed. And I'm like, bitch, you don't know what the fuck I can handle. I have had to handle being your fucking child. You think tattoo pain is gonna be a problem for me, bitch? I always thought humans were a little boring looking. Why couldn't we have neat stripes like antelopes or zebras? Period. So the act of getting the tattoo can be more meaningful than the tattoo itself. Absolutely. 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 Did you watch the little mini movie thing Ren did with the Sick Boy merch drop? I don't think I did. No. Where they like brand the logo onto people on the back of their neck. Oh, I saw an image of that. Like when like when you ordered, I think there was like an image of that. I didn't realize that there was like a little video. But that makes sense. That would make it a cool tattoo then. Like you were one of the branded. Seen a screenshot of that. Now you've explained it. I get what was going on. The green ribbon. Yeah. What the hell kind of children's book is that? My favorite kind of children's book. Oh, I wish it was in here. It's called In a Dark, Dark Room. Google that shit. It's so good. I have my copy from my childhood, and it's seen better days because my studio, like this room, the version of this room I had at my house, the one I sold, was in the garage. We had re-renovated a garage into my work space, and it had 2 skylights, and my book got just sun baked, and so now it's like really a lot of the color and detail is stripped from the cover. But In a Dark Dark Room is so good because In a Dark Dark Room is also a story in there. So good. The art is so good. It's like books like In a Dark Dark Room and Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, Goosebumps. Like those books are what made me want to be an artist. Like those are the books that made me want to make art, and obviously turned me into the horror girl I am today. Yeah, they're doing like a mini series with a new video with each drop from the collection. Ren Cult better than Sky Daddy. My mom said something like that about getting my ears pierced. My response, oh, that's it? Yeah. Like, bitch, you don't understand pain like we understand pain. And there's something about, I think there's something with, people who've had a lot of trauma who are able to control pain. I think that has a lot to do with like BDSM and things of that nature. And I feel like tattoos and piercings go hand in hand with that, where it's like, this is something we can control. This is pain that we have control over, that we can feel stronger than, that we can have a say in. And I was a piercer, not a piercer. I was a piercee. I was a piercee. Prior to getting my first tattoo, I was like, I got my nose pierced. I got my belly button pierced when I was 16. I got my nose pierced when I was 17. Like piercing pain, I think did that for me. And then when I was getting my tattoo, definitely felt that vibe. And I guess I was like, it was more about the permanence of a tattoo for me. When I was like younger, I was just like, I don't think I'll want anything forever and blah, 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 blah. It was just, it's so permanent. Whereas piercing is like, you take it out, it closes up, or it doesn't close up, whatever. Like, it's gone. But then when I was actually like going to get, and I was worried about the pain of tattoos because I had people like my mom being like, you couldn't handle that pain. Tattoos are so painful. But then when I was actually getting my tattoo, I was like, oh, this is not the kind of pain I thought it was going to be, and it's nothing, and it's fine. So yeah. And then even with the permanent situation, like, because my ex was like, because my tattoo like bled, like the ink kind of like seeped through my skin, and you can tell like there's like areas around the tattoo, like the ink is like in my skin, like it's like bleeding, like it's bled out of the lines. And he was just like, I would be so upset if I had permanently put something on my body and then it like fucked up like that. And I was just like, it's not that serious. Like, I don't care. It doesn't hurt me. It ain't a thing. Like, I've been through so much in my life that I don't give a flying fuck if this tattoo isn't perfect. And even the part that is like where it's bleeding, like it's not super fucking noticeable. It doesn't bother me. Like, it's not that serious. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, I don't care. So I thought that was an interesting progression in my, views of like tattoos, where I was just like, it's not that serious. It's not that serious, guys. It's not that serious. We'll be okay. I've survived way worse than a, somewhat crappy tattoo that is still so much better than so many other crappy tattoos I've seen. Like, Pain can absolutely be cathartic. Yeah. Ghosty can't show us books. That's true, I can't. I can't. It was wild not to see the dog walk around the room behind you either. Yeah, this room image is just a picture. It's not the current room. You could tell because I still have like my skull bowl over there in the corner, which is not there currently. I would probably get more piercings if it wasn't for like the healing. I feel like the healing, even with tattoos, like the healing part is the worst part for me. Is just like keeping shit clean and making sure they heal and making sure infections don't happen. Like those are the parts. That's the stuff that keeps me from like getting more. Like I've wanted my septum pierced for like a long time, but I'm just like my ass blows my nose so much. Like my piercing would be so irritated. Even when I had my nose pierced, like I had my, it was like the left, yeah, my left nostril pierced. I picked that because Tupac had his on his left, so I was like, if Tupac wants to do left pierce, I'm gonna do left pierce. 16-year-old me, wow. But then I had like studs. I always use studs, even though it's unfortunate because like now if I had a pierce, I would definitely use hoops. And if I had used hoops, I'd probably still have my nose pierced because I would get out of the shower and I would dry my face off and then my towel would rip my piercing out of my nose. Or like a blanket, like I'd be sleeping and a blanket would rip my stud out of my nose and it would wake me up and it would hurt me so much that I got to a point where I was like, nope, I'm taking it out. I can't deal with it anymore. I can't deal with the random pain of it getting caught on shit. And being constantly, my grandfather would always be like, you got a metal booger. I'm just like, I can't hear metal booger anymore. I am done. I'm done. I go through piercing phases, had my septum and scaffold piercing done twice, snake bites in my 20s as well, both loves, taking them out again. Man, one of my exes, when I was a teenager, got his eyebrow pierced and like took it out immediately. Like I didn't even get to see it. He got it pierced and it was out before I even saw him that day. And I was just like, what a waste of fucking money. What a waste of money. Pain barely affects me, but my central nervous system got damaged. It's amazing I'm alive. It gets better. It's better. I want another hole in my ear, my left ear, I think. Lobes. Yes, lobe for me. I've also been considering tragus, that's what tragus piercing, but I don't know how much those are. There's just some evidence that it may help with migraines. Huh? I donate blood every 3 months now, and you have to wait 6 months after ink or piercings. So I haven't had any work in ages. Wow. Good on you for donating blood so frequently, so consistently. Hayes is so cute when she's not being barky bark. Just like Rosie is cute when she's not being a bully. They're so cute. I mean, they got cuteness out the wazoo. It's the other shit. A problem with. Like, God bless. They were out fighting again today. I didn't record it, but part 2 was happening today. I find it interesting, like, that Rose just becomes such an instigator. I think she's trying to, like, shift the alpha situation. I think she's trying to shift herself into the alpha position in this miniature pack. In California, you can donate immediately with a tattoo as long as it's not over the IV site if you get it done in a licensed parlor because of California laws. Yeah, I don't know anything about laws or nothing when it comes to tattoos or piercings in California because I got I did get my tattoo in California, but I got all my piercings in Ohio. It's getting better. Sometimes my brain does braining. Braining. I have special blood that gets used for premature babies and people with a leukemia, so it feels too important to stop now. Wow. Yeah. You have a responsibility. Blood King. That sounds gross, but Blood King. O negative. Yeah, I mean, if I had special blood, I'd be all about it. Absolutely. Like, absolutely. All right, y'all. Well, we've had a nice time. I think it might be time for me to maybe clean my apartment. I don't know. A plus. Ooh, high grade. Yeah, I've been putting off cleaning my apartment. Like, it's getting gross just because, like, I have not had the energy to expend the spoons. No spoons for cleaning, so maybe I should do that. Maybe. I don't know. You're looking a little pale tonight. Sickly. On the verge of death. I don't know how to break it to Rosie, but you're the alpha. I am not in this house. They don't listen to me. They don't care about me. I am the servant. I am the servant. They're like, chop, chop, food. Food, chop, chop, lady. Servant lady. Thanks for haunting us. Yes, thanks for coming out and hanging out with me for a little bit. I'm off tomorrow. Probably more cleaning. Maybe I'll do my hair. Maybe I won't. We'll see. Maybe there'll be more curly girl action out here. In the world. Maybe. I don't know. We'll just see how I feel. See how I feel. I will be back on Friday. I'll be back Friday for a gaming stream. Playing some Tomb Raider Underworld. So y'all need to come out, hang out with me, keep me company. And I am back on the 5:30 Pacific Standard Time stream schedule. Just give myself some extra time because I've been needing more time this past week and a half. Because it's just, it's a lot. Existing out here is a lot, so. But I've also been streaming a little later as well to make up for it, so. Get some soup. Free the curls. Alright, y'all. Thanks for coming out. I love all of you. Have a good rest of your day. Come and see me on Friday. Bye! I did the peace signs, but you can't see them. Bye, 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 bye. Bye. Bye, bye, bye. Yeah. Bye.